once again.
Hello, everybody. This is Sports IQ 101. I'm coming with a new topic today. This one's over Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols' fiasco or her interview with Tim Duncan, the Hall of Famer. She was interviewing him going over the success of his career, and she's catching some heat because she made some inappropriate questions, asking about one player in particular named LeBron James. The reason why she's catching heat is because the topic is about Tim Duncan's success and entering into bringing LeBron James greatness and how great he is and how great he was about to become. And everybody's up in the uproar about it because it was very inappropriate for her to be interviewing another Hall of Famer and not going over his career completely and going getting fun and goo goo gaga over another player. We're about to show you the clip, so here it goes. This is Tim Duncan, her asking questions to Tim Duncan about
there's special moments in there, and everyone means a little different, but a whole lot.
Well, we talked back at that 2007 finals. You had a memorable exchange with LeBron James. I want to play it for everyone now. Take a listen.
Good job, man. Good job. Hey, man, I love how you're on 15 minutes. Stay that way, man. Stay that way. We're gonna drive these guys. This is gonna be your league in a little while, but I appreciate you giving us this here.
That was, of course, after the final game. You said, this is going to be your league, but I appreciate you giving us a year. What was that moment like?
You could just tell what he was going to be and who he was going to be, and that he was going to be such a dominant player for such a long time. And it was great playing games so early and again late in my career. And just watching his trajectory of his career, you could just see it coming.
I had to stop the tape, stop right there, and give you a little context behind what Rachel just asked. The first part was actually pretty neat to show that him and LeBron met in the finals 2007. That was relevant. But what you're gonna see on these other clips that I'm gonna show, and even at the end right there, she was asking how was that moment at that time to be talking to LeBron James. Now, if she would have stopped right here, I don't think it would have been as bad. But you see after a while when she started talking where the context of the conversation is going, and you're gonna be like, wow, really, we're going here, and this moment is about him in the Hall of Fame and his success, not someone else's. But I'm finna stop it and show the next clip.
It was fun to watch and be part of.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting, and only the guys who played against him, both at the beginning and now toward the latter part of his career, can qualify it. We haven't seen a player like Michael Jordan or Kareem or someone of that level change his game as much as it seems like LeBron has changed his. Would you say that's right?
I had to pause it again, and this is why I'm putting the question marks on this. What do they have to do with Tim Duncan? And you asked and say only people that played against him can see his evolution. But the conversation was supposed to be about Tim Duncan. The first question was okay to say, oh yeah, we met each other a couple times in the finals, this and this and that. But then when you keep asking about another player, then you compare nobody Jordan and Kareem didn't adjust their game, and I'm like, everybody's over there like, okay, Rachel, what do they have to do with asking Tim Duncan about his career? This is when you know that the sports talks get biased. So this is what I always want to tell people when you're looking at sports in general. Do not be biased if you can. Of course, we're all humans. We're all going to have a little bit of bias. But don't be overly biased. That was overly biased to ask that question to a man that's about to get inducted into the Hall of Fame about another great player and how that other great player was so great.
Absolutely. And evolving, changing with the game. Being in amazing shape the entire time. Like he continues to work in his body, stay healthy. Obviously, he's had some problems of late, but to stay on the top of the league for this long and to perform the way he has is absolutely amazing.
Well, he is a big social media guy. You, on the other hand, Tim, not so much.
And this is the reason why ESPN is losing viewers all the time, viewership, because everybody is seeing all the bias that people are talking with, and it's agenda driven. But now, if I was Tim Duncan, and me personally, we know that's not his personality trait, I would have had a big, when I say fit, I would have been very upset at Rachel. I even want to start the conversation off. I'm very upset that this is supposed to be my day and we're talking about someone else. Of course, that guy is great, not to take anything away from him, but this is my day. This is about me going to the Hall of Fame. But Tim was a champ with it. He handled it like a champ. He was very professional. But a lot of people, they wouldn't have went for it. For example, Kevin Garnett is going through the same Hall of Fame ceremony with Tim Duncan, and obviously Kobe Bryant, the great Kobe Bryant that passed away. And I guarantee she would never ask Kevin Garnett any type of question like that. It's just Tim is like I was saying, she knows Tim is a very professional, and I don't want to say nice guy, but he'll roll with the punches more so. Tim's kind of mild-mannered, kind of a quiet guy, so he would never just, deviate like that. It's just not in his personality trait. Now, the other part of it too, Rachel's had some hot takes in the past as well. She's been on Twitter. She's very active on social media. That's why she was bringing up LeBron James with the social media thing. She has gotten, ever since this has happened, this incident, people have been commenting on her. She's been throwing comments back. And the Twitter mob, they're never lit up. Those people don't understand, and Rachel understands that. But also, her and the other ESPN correspondents, most of the time, some of the female correspondents, they usually have a lot of issues with Twitter, getting into it and vocalizing their own views. Hence, when we talk about their views, we're talking about they do political views or biases towards what they like and what they dislike. From Jamil Hill to Kerry Champion, these are former correspondents, to other correspondents that's been on the platform. And that's how they usually get in trouble. Now, Rachel usually stays pretty low key on stuff, but lately you have been seeing a lot more bias towards the certain players, especially LeBron James. ESPN, which is called BSPN by most people, including myself, they are really agenda driven with LeBron James. If you're talking about basketball, you can't just talk about basketball in general. He has to be mentioned. It's like he's got to be the end all be all about everything. We don't give enough praise to some of these other players, especially the low key players. But it is what it is with ESPN. But Tim Duncan to be put in this situation, which I thought it was very inappropriate by Rachel, and she's usually a pretty good interviewer. I thought it was totally out of line. And with that being said, Rachel she's a good correspondent, but lately she's been more agenda driven, which it might be by the network of ESPN or BSPN, like I call it. And I always tell everybody, use your own brain. Do not just listen to the correspondence. Always think to yourself, it's just not one thing. If they're selling this to you, reassess it, analyze it, think for yourself, and see if it makes sense. If it's very logical and you did your research behind it, also do your research behind it, then you come with your conclusion. Just don't go off of what people say. But this is just a Sports IQ one-on-one video that I was doing today. Just want to do it over the hot takes of Rachel and how inappropriate her questions was towards Tim Duncan.